Hi, I'm Steve Manning from LMI, and I'm here to show you and give you the first look at RiskCoach on the Go version 2.0, which is available now for download via the Apple App Store or the Android Play Store. So you can go out there and download it right away. And it's available at no cost to all our existing RiskCoach users. So guys, if you've seen the older version of the RiskCoach on the Go app, very, very similar, but what we've done is we've just taken to the next level, improved the styling, of course, and further, we've made sure that report that it's able to generate more closely reflects what you're going to get from the desktop version. So it's got a huge amount of other elements that are available to you. For example, the ability to actually profile yourself a little bit more within the report and your business, as well as just the new styling of that report. So forgive me guys, I'm going to be giving you a bit of a run through of this new app. So first things first, you download the app from the App Store or the Play Store. Once you've got access to that app, log in and you will be presented with this screen. So this is us in our phone world at the moment. And as you can see, it's got a picture of myself up there. So if you don't see your picture, it means you're not going to be able to customize that report. But if you do see it, it means you've got full access to all of that information. You can populate it, as I said, in that desktop version. If you've already populated it, it will already be pulled through here because it's using that same back-end data. So assuming that you've got your profile set up, how the app works is very, very simple. It's essentially the desktop version, but a little bit scaled back because obviously you're not going to want piles and piles of data and reading off your phone. That's more a desk job, where the app is more designed to allow you guys to generate a report when you're out on the road. So perhaps you're out there speaking to a client and you want to give them something to talk over, or perhaps you've just heading out to a client a little bit later and you want to give them something before you get there and you haven't had a chance to do so at your computer. You can use the app. So what we'll do is, ignoring all these elements over here, which really just allow you to change your password and that sort of stuff, click through that in your own time. What I will show you today is how to actually generate a report for our clients or research an industry quite quickly. So over here, you see search industries. We'll click that one and then we can type in our client's business. So this is our client's primary activity, primary business. Now it's quite early and I've got nothing but coffee on my mind. So what we'll do is we'll search a cafe. So I just click in the box, cafe, and up will pop a list of industries that we have actually identified within the RiskCoach system that you can select from that most closely reflects your client's business. So you can see bookshop with a cafe, cafe operation, internet cafe. Well, look, our client's just a regular coffee shop with a bit of food on the premises. So we'll click that one. Okay, and that's going to take us through to our hazard index, which is our landing screen. So what this screen allows us to do is very quickly identify up to 14 classes of insurance and the necessity for that class for this individual's business. So as you can see, property damage is rated quite highly, as is your business interruption, as you'd expect. But scrolling down, you can see all 14 classes and the necessity for that business. So our public and product liability are our greatest exposures. Why? Clicking on product liability, and we get an explanation as to why the risk is what it is. And, you know, public liability, we're going to have a lot of slips and trips on the property. Product liability, you're going to be having, you know, contamination issues or food poisoning, improper storage, all those sorts of things that you'd quite likely inspect. But what's really nice about it is that it really keeps it in plain English so your client can actually understand it from their business's needs. So your employer liability as well. Obviously, we can start to use this to discuss our clients' insurance needs and potentially do an upsell, cross-sell to make sure that that business is fully protected. For example, business interruption insurance, maybe not something they've taken out in the past. You can click in there and we can see that, you know, losing a chef or losing a premises, you know, people don't tend to walk 4 blocks for coffee. They will go to the most close convenient location. So we're very location dependent. So business interruption is a must. all explained to you there. But without getting into all that information, what we can do is we can start navigating across the top here. So we start with our hazard index, which is that landing screen, and moving on across, we have the significant exposures. Now, not a fully comprehensive list, but a list that we can use to have a bit of a discussion points with our client. So perhaps you're out and about, you just want to pick up a few little bits that you want to talk to your client about. You know they need business interruption, but what are some risks that it's going to protect them from, specific for their industry? And we can start looking here and it will give you those explanations. High level, just a dot point, class of insurance it will protect, and also the risk that it would provide protection from. You know, dependencies on neighboring trades and such. Okay, it's not all business interruption. It's just quite a long list. You can see we're getting into our crime exposures, and you'll go right through your cyber as well. Your point of sale systems and such are quite at risk in those areas. So we have our significant exposures. Moving along, you can also look at your risk checklist. Now, this is a great place to go and get some quick questions that you can ask your client to better understand the exposure for their business. Few things you can use this for. I won't go into them all, but quickly, you can get a bit of a better understanding that maybe you can present to an underwriter to better show that your client has a much better, it's a better risk than perhaps the neighboring business of a similar nature. Or you can use it as a bit of a selling prompt. So we jump in, ask them, click on the business interruption and go through some questions for that particular class. This is the one we want to sell them this year because they don't have it. We know they need it. Well, asking questions about some of their exposures can sometimes then bring more to the forefront the need for this class of insurance. So we can go through and ask these kind of questions. Okay, so that's another way of doing it. Okay, and then finally, what we're here to see, the report. Now, the report is going to allow you to tailor it somewhat and pull in elements that we've actually just looked through between the hazard index, the significant exposures, and the risk checklist. So what we'll do is we'll click on the report, and we're going to select what we want. Now, the first thing to note is if you've used the desktop version of RiskCoach and you've built your user profile, as I said, it's already going to be within the system. So that's the first thing. The second thing is if you've built your company profile, that's going to be brought through. And that includes if you've selected a color scheme or you've purchased a custom color scheme for your business, that will be pulled through and pre-populated also. If you haven't done so, you can change your colors to better reflect your company's business profile. And if you haven't got one there, you can always reach out to the team, and for a nominal fee, they can actually design it specifically for your business's colors and theme. But this is one that I've selected for today, which is going to reflect our actual business colors. Now, our insured's business name, we simply click that and type in our client's name. Steve's Coffee Co. And now what we can do is start tailoring that report. What is going to be included in the report? Now, if you haven't done so already, I suggest first thing you should do is go and have a play with the desktop version so you can actually really see what that report is going to look like, what the elements you're going to be bringing in, how that impacts it, because you can actually see it on the go there. Whereas on this app version, it's just going to download it for you, and you can review it on your phone. But personally, I like the big screen. So meet your advisor, that's going to bring in your personal details. So that picture of yourself, a little bit about yourself, company information, a little bit about your business, as you'd expect. You can either add those or remove them. It's completely up to you. I suggest you include them. It's really about focusing and giving that whole, this is information you're providing and promoting your business as that professional business that it is. A bit about LMI Group, just explaining, look, the reports generated by insurance and risk experts, independent, and on it goes. A bit about underinsurance. Now, for anyone in New Zealand, that will not even show up, guys. But in Australia, if you want to, you can remove that from the report. I suggest you leave it in. Why? Because it's a great backside protector. It really protects your PI because it helps explain the effects of underinsuring, which unfortunately seems to be something that a lot of insureds don't quite understand. So we can add or remove that. The hazard index, which is that each of those different 14 classes, that number of the risk and that explanation are all the bones of the report, but we can add in the significant exposures if we want to. Or we can add in the risk checklist. Now, those risk checklists are available for all 14 classes of insurance. And if you want to, you can add all 14 in there. Just be aware that it will extend the size of that report from approximately a 9-page report, that's including front cover, back cover, a bit of information about yourself, into in some cases, an 80-page report. So just use it according to your clients. You know them better than anyone. Personally, I use it in a way that I will select the class that I'm trying to maybe talk over this year with them, or classes. I wouldn't personally select all, but to each their own. It certainly will help you in the end of the day. Okay, and then we hit generate report. So that's going to give you a chance to actually check and see what that report looks like. So we can review it on our phone. It takes a few moments to download because it's generating that report for you, and then you will be able to actually view it. Okay, so this is what the report looks like. As you can see, it's all my color scheme. Your logo is here. And what you can do is then share that report. Now, this is going to bring up all the apps that you have on your phone that you can share it with. So if you've got the Outlook app or your Apple Mail app or whatever the case may be, you can probably tell I'm not an Apple user. You can use that and email it straight to your client or to yourself if you choose. And here is one that I've prepared earlier so we can see what that report looks like in a bigger sense. Okay, here's our report. As you can see, it has our logo on the front. Our client's business name is on the front also. Scrolling down, a little bit about yourself. Steve Manning, my business name is your business name here, and a bit about myself. And you can use 300 words to explain who you are. So really, really simple there. Why partner with your business? And we can have your name will of course be there, and then you can explain all that information about yourself. Again, 300 words are available to you there to explain who your business is. A little bit about LMI, the purpose of the report, and then under insurance. As I said, it explains the need for insuring correctly and the effects on a claim if you fail to do so. We have our hazard index or hazard assessment, which is those numbers we saw before back to a class of insurance. So we can graphically represent risk, and we can do that very quickly. We can see what we have, what we really should be looking at as an urgency based on the exposure to that particular person's business. And then, of course, the rationale behind each of those ratings, so we can actually understand what that rating is reflective of and the exposures that it's caused by. So as you can see here, for example, property damage, number of heat sources and things, which can cause issues. There might be some EPS paneling in the cool room, which has that huge fire load that we all know about, and a few other bits and pieces there. So all plain English. We're not trying to be using jargon or anything like that. It's really just giving you guys something that you can talk to with your client that's tailored to their specific business's needs. And we have each of those 14 classes will be listed. Had I elected to add my significant exposures or my risk checklist, they would also be elements within the report as well. As you can see, the layout is quite open. It's not heavy text. It's easy to read over, and it's all there to help explain it to our clients. So guys, that is the RiskCoach on the Go version 2. You're probably aware that we used to have that old version out there. It was very, very popular. I'm hoping you guys get as much use out of this new version as the older one, and like those new features and the look of the report that we brought into the app now. While I have you, there is very soon going to be some new features on that desktop version which allow you to tailor the report, but you'll have to keep your eye or your ear to the street on that one. We'll let you know when it's available, but very excited with that as well. In the meantime, please download the new app, get using it. I'm sure it's going to help you guys grow your business and importantly, protect your clients. Thanks so much, guys, and talk to you next time.